Welcome to Headphone News, Montreal edition for Friday, November 15th, 2024.
U.S. dollar hits one-year high after Trump's election win. On November 14, 2024, the U.S. dollar reached a one-year high, fueled by rising Treasury yields and Donald Trump's election as President of the United States. The dollar climbed to over 156 Japanese yen and traded at $1.05554 against the euro. The British pound also fell to its lowest level against the dollar in 3 months. Experts suggest that upcoming increases in trade tariffs and inflation may affect future economic policies. Meanwhile, Bitcoin soared to a new record high, showing strong interest in cryptocurrency. Overall, market trends point to a positive outlook for the U.S. economy following the election.
Update on De Beers and Botswana negotiations. On November 14, 2024, Al Cook, CEO of De Beers, shared that talks with the Botswana government about a new diamond sales agreement are expected to conclude soon. Cook met with Botswana's new president, Duma Boko, in Gaborone, the capital. The new agreement aims to increase Botswana's share of diamonds from the Botswana Diamond Company, a joint venture between De Beers and the Botswana government. Last year, an agreement was made to gradually raise Botswana's share to 50% over the next decade. The diamond industry is vital for Botswana's economy, contributing significantly to national income. These negotiations could bring key benefits for both De Beers and Botswana.
Republican victory in U.S. elections and its economic impact. The Republican Party scored a major victory in the U.S. elections on November 6, 2024. This win puts President-elect Trump in a position to push for tax cuts and other fiscal policies. The rating agency DBRS, which stands for Dominion Bond Rating Service, is closely watching the U.S. fiscal situation. Concerns are rising about the national debt, now at around $35 trillion. Financial markets reacted with an increase in U.S. Treasury yields, signaling worries about inflation and spending. This election outcome may also affect U.S. support for Ukraine as European nations reconsider their military budgets. Countries like Germany could need to review their current defense spending, especially given NATO's requirement for members to spend at least 2% of their GDP on defense. Overall, this Republican win could lead to significant changes in U.S. economic and foreign policies.
UK announces pension reform plans. The United Kingdom plans major changes to its pension system. The government intends to create larger pension schemes, referred to as megafunds, with a goal of attracting up to £80 billion, approximately $102 billion. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves revealed these efforts to improve how pension funds invest in the UK economy. Nausicaa Delphos, head of the UK pensions regulator, supports these reforms. The aim is to deliver greater value for pension savers and encourage innovative investment strategies.
Biden's trip to Peru and Brazil for key summits. President Joe Biden has started a 6-day trip to Peru and Brazil as of November 14, 2024. The trip includes 2 significant meetings: the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Peru and the Group of 20 Leaders Summit in Brazil. During these events, Biden will address crucial topics such as climate change and support for Ukraine amid its ongoing conflict with Russia. Leaders from several nations, including China, South Korea, and Japan, are expected to participate. Biden will also make a historic visit to the Amazon rainforest, an area no sitting U.S. president has previously visited. This journey highlights the importance of international cooperation as Biden seeks to strengthen ties with other countries before Donald Trump's return to the presidency.
Alina Habba turns down press secretary role. On November 14, 2024, Alina Habba announced she would not accept the position of White House press secretary for President-elect Trump. As a lawyer and senior advisor, Habba expressed appreciation for the support she received but stated her skills are better suited for other roles. Earlier in the week, discussions about her potential appointment occurred at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's estate in Palm Beach, Florida. The incoming administration plans to grant access to more friendly media outlets for press briefings, moving away from traditional media practices. Potential candidates for the press secretary role include Caroline Leavitt and Monica Crowley.
GE Vernova faces quality control issues in Quebec. GE Vernova's offshore wind turbine plant in Gaspé, Quebec, is facing serious quality control issues. This investigation started after a turbine blade broke during use at the Vineyard Wind project off the coast of Massachusetts. The incident led to a temporary shutdown and raised safety concerns. The investigation found that some workers were pressured to speed up production, which resulted in mistakes. As a result, several employees, including managers, were suspended or fired. In response, the company is creating a new committee to improve quality. GE Vernova has confirmed that it is implementing corrective actions at the Gaspé facility to prevent similar problems in the future.
Controversy over Swedish minister's banana phobia. Paulina Brandberg, Sweden's Minister for Equality, faces scrutiny due to her phobia of bananas. This issue came to light when emails revealed that her team must ensure that all venues are free of bananas before visits. The minister referred to her fear as the strangest in the world. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson defended Brandberg, emphasizing the importance of taking phobias seriously. This situation has ignited conversations about mental health in Sweden's political landscape.
Ontario government partners with Starlink for internet access. The Ontario government has teamed up with SpaceX's Starlink to bring high-speed internet to 15,000 homes and businesses in rural and remote areas. This initiative, known as the Ontario Satellite Internet Program, aims to improve internet access by June 2025. The province has committed nearly $100 million Canadian dollars to reserve capacity on Starlink's satellite network. Installation and equipment costs will be covered for eligible customers. Registration for this service is expected to begin in spring 2025, with monthly fees starting at $140 Canadian dollars for residential plans and $185 Canadian dollars for business plans. This project is part of a larger investment of nearly $4 billion Canadian dollars to enhance internet service across Ontario.
Teen charged with murder after Toronto shootout. On November 11, 2024, a shootout occurred outside a recording studio on Queen Street West in Toronto, Canada. 3 suspects unleashed around 100 gunshots during a birthday party. This led to the arrest of 23 people, with 8 facing charges. Among those arrested is a 16-year-old boy now charged with second-degree murder related to the earlier death of Matthew Burgart in April 2024. Thankfully, no injuries were reported from the shootout, which highlights growing concerns over youth involvement in gang crime. This incident has reignited calls for bail reform in Ontario, as 2 of the arrested individuals were out on bail at the time.
Bayer faces pressure from shareholders over stock decline. Bayer, a leading pharmaceutical and agriculture company based in Frankfurt, Germany, is facing serious challenges. Recent warnings about expected lower earnings have led to a sharp decline in its stock price, which has reached a 20-year low. Shareholders are calling on CEO Bill Anderson to take faster action to restore confidence and improve operations. The drop in demand from farmers and ongoing issues stemming from the 2018 acquisition of Monsanto are significant factors affecting Bayer's performance. The company is also dealing with lawsuits related to its herbicides. Analysts express concern about Bayer's future as it navigates competition in the industry.
RCMP to launch nationwide body camera program. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, plans to equip thousands of officers across Canada with body cameras. This initiative aims to improve transparency and build public trust. The rollout will start next week in select detachments, with about 1,000 officers receiving cameras each month for the next 9 months. By this time next year, it's expected that 90% of frontline officers will be using body cameras. The footage will be securely stored and must be recorded during specific police activities, while sensitive situations will not be captured. The federal government has allocated around $240 million Canadian dollars to support this program. This move follows a global demand for police accountability and is viewed as a vital step in enhancing community relations.
RFK Jr. to lead U.S. health reforms. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been appointed to lead the Department of Health and Human Services by President-elect Donald Trump. Kennedy plans to implement major changes to the U.S. food and drug system. His proposals include banning many food additives found in processed foods and eliminating unhealthy options from school lunches to improve children's health and combat diet-related diseases. He has raised concerns about certain weight loss drugs, arguing that they do not tackle the root causes of food issues. Kennedy also suggests that more research funding should focus on preventive health strategies and calls for changes in farming practices to support healthier food production. Through these initiatives, he aims to enhance the overall health of Americans.
Whitehorse house explosion. 1 year later. On November 14, 2023, a significant house explosion occurred on Bates Crescent in the Riverdale neighborhood of Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada. The explosion resulted in the tragic death of Dave Gould and caused major damage to several nearby homes. His wife, Linda, narrowly escaped after waking just moments before the blast. Tim Preston, the owner of the destroyed house, was rescued from the wreckage but sustained injuries. The force of the explosion was strong enough to register on Earthquake Canada's seismogram, emphasizing its severity. Local residents recall the terrifying moments that followed, with debris raining down from the sky. The Yukon Royal Canadian Mounted Police announced that Preston faces charges for lacking permits for gas appliances that are believed to be linked to the explosion. 1 year later, the community continues to feel the impact of this devastating event. Residents are discussing the importance of home safety and seeking ways to prevent similar incidents in the future.
Foreign investors withdraw from Asian bond markets. In October 2024, foreign investors withdrew $3.8 billion from Asian bond markets outside of China. This move was driven by concerns over the recent U.S. presidential election. Many investors worried that a Trump victory could lead to higher inflation driven by proposed tariffs and tax cuts. As a result, expectations for interest rate cuts that had previously supported these bonds diminished. Analysts now express less optimism about future investments in Asian bonds. In contrast, South Korea saw an influx of $4.03 billion in foreign investment due to its upcoming inclusion in the FTSE Russell World Government Bond Index in November 2025. Moreover, Indonesian bonds attracted about $1.5 billion in inflows, marking 6 consecutive months of increasing foreign investment.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's headphone news. News summary brought to you by AI.